Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as was the vast majority of crypto and finance. And today I want to go back in time to yesterday's video where I talked a little bit about Yes Bank. So this is from Wrath of Kahneman and we addressed it, right? This was Yes Bank going live with UPI interoperability on CBDCs within India. It's a pretty big one, right? Like no mention of Ripple, nothing like that. But it's definitely interesting in terms of the connections back to Ripple that we found. I do want to go over here though real quick because Cowboy Crypto is quoting Wrath of Kahneman because he's the original one that posted the news. And we do see here Ripple partner Yes Bank has 4 investors listed, one of which is Asian Development Bank, which ADB is actually pretty large for those that are out there that don't actually know about ADB. Very large bank. Where Sharin Hamid was Director General for 6 years until January of 2022 and is now currently Chief Information Officer at the IMF. The current president of ADB, who joined the Ministry of Finance from 94 to 97 in Japan, along with numerous other upper-level Japanese finance positions, as well as being an economist and advisor for the IMF. Very interesting. Listen. As we really kind of look at Yes Bank, I think that we need to start looking at this a little bit more because guess what? As we really kind of look at a few of these areas, I think that we're starting to see the digital revolution happening in a few of them. I think the UK was a big one. I think the UAE is another one. And I also think India is becoming a big one as well. Even Palau, right? Like we talked a little bit about the Palau CBDC or stablecoin scenario. A lot of people think that that is the start of the digital dollar simply because Palau does run on the USD, and Ripple is obviously working with them on the stablecoin. A lot of people think that's a CBDC, but it's essentially more of a stablecoin. But it's a small population area. And the best way to test this new system is by starting small and then going all at once with a big, large population. India is a massive area with a very large population, and I think that this is going to be a very interesting one to watch for. As I've said, right, like it's gonna start in some big areas as well, but it seems as though things are accelerating a little bit. Now I just recently actually quoted a tweet. It was from, I don't know where I had it, or it was right here. So I said, over a year ago, Crypto Insight UK speculated on India's CBDC with connections to Ripple and the XRP ledger. We recently seen Ripple partner Yes Bank go live with UPI interoperability on the RBI CBDC app. This now has many speculating again. We don't have 100% confirmation that Ripple or XRP is involved, but these connections are substantial. And here you guys have the full breakdown. So first off, shout out to Crypto Insight UK, but we do see why I think India's pending CBDC will be built with Ripple on the XRP ledger. Yes, this is speculation. Go and get a coffee and also strap in. And here we have it, right? Like here's everything we know. 1, the path forward for digital assets adoption in India, which by the way, guys, I found a lot of information. And we do see down here, let's start with something a lot of you may not know. One of Ripple's original ideas regarding the distribution of XRP was to give it away to every person in India. They didn't follow through with this idea, but it shows the importance of this market to the team at Ripple. And you know what's funny about this? A lot of the original partnerships that Ripple did have going back to like 2015 through 2017, it was heavily focused on India and the areas around India. And down here, we do see their next thoughts, again, from Ashish Birla, go after the top 3 commercial banks in India, and you get 80% market share. XRapid is now on-demand liquidity. They then looked at mobile banking and exclaimed in 2018 that in their pipeline, they probably have about 50% of the Indian market, which I did address this in a recent video. Now, down here, so this leads to the question, what did they achieve? Well, they seem to have signed a deal with the Federal Bank of India for a new cross-border payment system. Reserve Bank of India has 671 branches and 681 ATMs. Whoa. Then down here, We do see next up, we have Axis Bank. Axis Bank is the third largest private sector bank in India. Axis Bank covers large and mid corporates, SME, agriculture, and retail businesses with its 3,485 domestic branches and 14,332 ATMs across the country. Next, we have yet again another bank, a leading bank in India with over 1,300 branches. They will use Xcurrent to power instant remittance payments. Xcurrent at the time doesn't leverage XRP, but this is from 2018. Now we have addressed Ripple's goals with domestic banks. I think it's time we move to speculate about their central bank and a CBDC coming out of India this financial year. Why/how many Ripple and the XRP ledger will be involved? This is where we get speculative, but bear with me. And here we have from the Digital Pound Foundation, India's central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, has reportedly asked for public sector banks to run a pilot CBDC. They are now looking for staff partner engineers, compliance risk managers, and central bank partner solution directors. They had some very interesting positions open at Ripple in India back in early June, must now have been filled, excuse the quality. And yes, they did. These were like the major ones that they had. I'm pretty sure right now they still have a compliance job open in India, which definitely is one to mention. And then down here, we do see Ripple also wrote a document suggesting safe and innovative ways to regulate crypto in India. And let's not forget, Ripple have their own CBDC white paper and help countries run trials on a private CBDC ledger within the XRP ledger. And I think that they said that they were in talks with like over 20 central banks already. I think that they have 5 in the pipeline, which I'm pretty sure people know about a few of them, like Colombia, for an example, and even Palau. But then also down here, when you see my last and most interesting part of this speculation is the open announcement of Ripple's partnership with the country of Bhutan. Bhutan's currency is actually tied 1-to-1 to the rupee, national currency of India, is also accepted in Bhutan. And then down here, this becomes even more interesting when we realize Bhutan exports are about 90% to India and their imports are around 70%. How will this all affect these currencies and the payment flows of the Indian Bhutan payment flow? We have no idea, right? One final thought is timing. When? Well, as quoted above, India is testing their digital currency as we speak and are looking to potentially roll out by the end of the financial year. This looks similar to Bhutan, who have suggested rollout will happen by 2023. And it seems as though, 2023 is the big start. I think that 2024 into 2025 is when we will start to see a lot of them launching. And we do see makes sense to use the XRP ledger and have the XRP as a neutral bridge asset, right? That's all, folks. And again, right, like we have no 100% confirmation, but I will say this. There's some significant connections with India and Ripple. Again, shout out to Crypto Insight UK for those insights. Now, let's dive deep. Swell event 2019. I think Kevin Cage actually posted this originally. I remember him talking about Swell 2019, but this was enabling financial inclusion with blockchain and digital assets. And guess what? This Swell event, well, this was a big one to look into because the former governor of the Reserve Bank of India was taking stage at the Swell event and underscored the important role that technology, including blockchain and digital assets, plays in fueling economic growth, increasing financial inclusion, and ultimately revolutionizing businesses in emerging markets around the world. He explained blockchain offers an array of different opportunities to address changing attitudes about the international financial system in cross-border payments, in tokenization with central banking, and more. Tokenization within central banking is CBDCs. It's tokenized reserves, it's tokenized deposits. That's what that essentially is. Now, this video was disabled by the video owner, so we can't really watch this. I do question on why. One, who knows, right? But it's definitely interesting. The connections here to India are very interesting because we also see down here that he is no stranger to democratizing power of technology. He is considered a key visionary behind India's early adoption of widespread mobile banking. His brainchild, the Unified Payments Interface, UPI. Remember, the original tweet here is about UPI interoperability. that launched in 2016 is revolutionizing peer-to-peer payments and helping usher in India's migration to a more digital society. This was the beginning. I want you guys to realize that, right? And this is an individual that also highlighted micropayments as one area ripe for the revolutionary change promised by decentralized blockchain technology. This is an individual that realized the power of blockchain tokenization, digital assets, you name it, back in 2019. And again, he's on stage with Ashish Birla. And then, do you guys know Tata Consultancy Services? This is a big company. They're also partnered with Hedera, I'm pretty sure. And this is a company that has been really kind of fueling a lot of what we see around like IT, cloud-based services, microservices, things like that. We do see 30% global population serviced by TCS for banking. 100 plus countries covered. 8 out of the top 10 custodian and asset management firms running on TCS. Very interesting. And then also down here, they are heavy on cloud. And like I told you guys, I like focus on cloud. Like cloud is huge. But under banking, we do see our banking clients serve everyone from high net worth households or first-time home owners to people opening bank accounts through financial inclusion initiatives. Remember, like all of this is heavily focused on inclusion and equality, if you will. But it's also solutions to help banks foster rapid growth, innovate at scale, and realize a shared purpose through the TCS Banks ecosystem. Then we also have capital markets down here, which we do know Ripple has just recently started talking about heavily, and then also insurance. But they are at the forefront of the fintech industry, as you guys do see down here. Very interesting. And we do know that Ripple has partnered with them. Ripple has a partnership with them. You could also go over here to their alliances and also partnerships, and you could go and look through all of their major players that are tied to them. Very substantial names, especially around like the financial sector. But then over here we do see, this goes back to 2019. TCS powers world's first cross-border securities settlement between 2 central depositories using Quartz blockchain. Now, I want you guys to think about this real quick. So first off, this is with Morocco. It's actually interesting that it was with Morocco then, because we do know that Morocco's largest bank joined RippleNet back in 2022. We also do know that Ripple was delivering real-time payments from Oman to India using blockchain. We also do know that Ripple's on-demand liquidity payments now live in India, April of this year. This was a big one as well. And then as well, we've seen Ripple continues to build momentum in MENA with first on-demand liquidity deployment in the Middle East. Again, this was with 2 of the top 3 remittance corridors in the world. And this is with People. It's a company that is they're pretty big. They're actually one of Ripple's partners, I'm pretty sure, as well. And when we actually scroll down here, we could see that using on-demand liquidity and leveraging XRP, People will provide instant low-cost remittance options for people sending money into and out of the region. No XRP will not be held within the UAE, and transactions will not involve the currency AED as part of the payment flow. But again, as we look at this, like the Middle East and Africa are a big area to focus on as well. And we already know that Ripple during this time was heavily focused on expanding within the MENA region. The reason why I say this is just because, like Morocco and a few other areas were heavily, focused on during this time as well, which is like right around the 2022 timeframe. But nonetheless, let's go back over to Quartz, because Quartz is the big one to really kind of look at. Here's April of 2019. This was the announcement from CoinDesk. Tata settles securities between national depositories on a blockchain. India's second largest firm has completed a blockchain trial of cross-border security settlement between 2 central securities depositories. And then within this, so they do talk a little bit about it. Again, this is for Morocco's Mero Clear Depository and Kuwait's clearing company on the bank's network. Again, it's all centered heavily around the banks. Now, like this doesn't mention Ripple or anything like that, right? But when we scroll down here, we could see that using technologies like blockchain, we can overcome limitations in prevailing business models and create new business opportunities for our customers. earlier this week, TCS revealed that its Quartz blockchain solution enables clients to connect to RippleNet, a blockchain-based payments infrastructure from Ripple, in order to help them process cross-border Forex remittance transactions. The Forex market is a $7.5 trillion per day market globally. And remember that this is securities transactions, which the DTCC, for an example, is clearing about roughly $2.4 quadrillion worth of those transactions per year. The connections are so damn deep here between Ripple and some very substantial names around India. And I do think that's good to mention this now, because now we are seeing movement on the forefront from India themselves. And we are starting to see some big moves on the CBDC side of things. But I don't want to speculate too much here. And I don't want to say for certain that Ripple and XRP are being utilized. And I actually want to let you guys be the ones to tell me, do you think Ripple and XRP are being utilized within this? And do you think that they will power India's CBDC? Comment down below what you guys think. Definitely hit that like button if you do think yes. If you guys don't think so, then like I said, comment down below. But with that being said, guys, if you did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.